You're listening to A Smart Stack with Maria LaChapelle. This is episode 11 of Dear Mrs. White Lady. Headline: You think I'm fucking with you? I am not fucking with you. Elon in the case of the missing gold. Screenshot of a young Alec Baldwin from David Mamet's film Glen Ross, a cult classic for anyone who's ever held a crappy sales job. Catch my podcast on YouTube, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. Dear Mrs. White Lady, in the next few days, Donald and Elon will stake a claim that gold is missing from Fort Knox. I kid you not. Or as the man says, I am not fucking with you. Yes, you heard me right. They'll claim gold is missing from the bunker at the U.S. Mint. I've always wondered what the word mint referred to, if it had anything to do with something being in mint condition, like an automobile. Turns out mint comes from the Roman goddess Juno Moneta, born in 269 BC, who became the very personification of having coin. Damn, Wikipedia is good. But I digress. If Trump and Musk were to announce gold has been stolen from Fort Knox, will it be a shock? Will it even be true? Will it be a fraud perpetrated on America, even if it is a prank? How do I know Trump and Musk are hatching the scheme? Because commodity traders are already taking bets this will happen. Yep, did some digging. I found two curious event contracts on the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's website. That's the CFTC. I really love a government website in the age of Doge that still has a solid search engine, don't you? Event contracts are bets that traders can take positions in, like on a mixed martial arts fight, or whether I will successfully emerge upright from downward facing dog tomorrow morning. You want to know what I found? I found out these cats know exactly what's about to go down. Those rascals registered at least two bets that I could find on the exchange. Will Elon Musk and Doge claim they have discovered fewer than expected gold reserves at Fort Knox? Will Doge audit Fort Knox before an unnamed date? This is a big Doge deal and a warning for what's to come. And no, Charlotte, I am not fucking with you. I also found the CFTC's approval allowing Dogecoin to be traded on the commodity and futures exchanges alongside accepted world currencies like the yen or the euro, giving Musk's Dogecoin the appearance of legitimacy. Oh, Musk also wants to do away with data collection and monitoring to identify market manipulation and insider trading, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. In case you've been living under a pile of weighted blankets for the past few years, and who could blame you, Dogecoin is Musk's crypto meme coin or token. Trump, not to be left out, has his own Trump meme coin. More on that later. The carnival barker and the setup. Hooray, 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 step right up, folks. Gold missing from government coffers. Read all about it. That's right, folks. See how gold bars mysteriously went missing from a guarded military bunker. You won't believe your eyes. In case you missed it, here was the setup from the Oval Office. With Trump, there's always a setup. He likes to engage in a middle school level of foreboding for his cons. He's not the most masterful with a sleight of hand, but he does manage to fool a great many who show up to the big tent nonetheless. Musk's gold and the president's big day. 2 weeks ago, Trump told the smartly dressed French President Emmanuel Macron and the press that he and his musketeer were planning a field trip to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there because maybe somebody stole the gold. We've seen Trump make wildly ridiculous claims before. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. Peaceful protesters are viciously attacking police with cans of soup. Now Trump thinks the government is spending millions to fix transgender mice. Some days I really wish Trump could read. Donnie, Donnie, Donnie. It's transgenic mice. You know, like genetic testing for cancer research. Probus on Substack bravely asserts in his letter to Uncle Bill, no one pays to put a rat in a dress. No one pays to put a rat in a dress. It's priceless. By the way, has anyone checked on the Haitians in Columbus recently? I worry they may be missing a meal or two since JD has been so quiet. Oh, hey JD, did you even say thank you to America once today? In terms of the field trip to see if the gold is there, let me first say a trip to Louisville may not be as fulfilling for Donald as working the fries station at the Golden Arches, or as sexy for Elon as selling our social security numbers and identifying information on the dark web. But a photo op is a photo op. Am I right? Am I right? Which brings me back to Donald's dream of seeing all the gold. Maybe FBI Director Kash Patel's next children's story will be named Must Gold in the President's Big Day. A word for the meme curious. A meme coin, crypto meme, or crypto token is still just a meme, a fake little notion of a thing, but not the thing. It's like a cartoon drawing of a surprise toy at the bottom of the Cracker Jacks box, but not the toy itself. It's just a trifle, a thing that kids make stickers out of, and adults make paupers and fools of themselves out of. Many heed the siren song. They buy, sell, and invest in this non-currency. But that's not my concern. We've got bigger filet of fish to fry. The real theft will come after the visit to Fort Knox. My real concern, Mrs. White Lady, is that the gold in the bunker at Fort Knox will be plundered, sold for a ridiculous fortune, and the profits from that treasure will be stolen from we, the people. Heck, Trump is already listing what he calls non-core federal buildings and land for sale to private investors. Zillow has listings of such non-essential properties, like the DC headquarters of the FBI, the Department of Labor, and ironically, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Not sure why CIA didn't earn an honorable mention there, but who's to say? But I promise, Charlotte, I am not fucking with you. I expect the national parks will be sold for mineral rights. Native American holy sites will be bartered and sold again, breaking more promises and treaties. And the land that we first stole will be stolen again, chopped up and sold to the robber barons of the new Gilded Age. But we didn't care about the rights of indigenous people then, and judging by our actions, we still don't. And that's going to cost us. Let me paint a picture of America in the next 3 to 6 months. Before Musk's disruption of U.S. aid is even complete and farmers and ranchers have missed out on a whole growing season, once foreign countries refuse to buy anything American, once MAGA supporting ranchers default on their agricultural and operating loans, their land will be seized in an eminent domain land grab. Land will be sold to soulless hedge funds and real estate investment trusts. Yep, that's just standard operating procedure around here. How do I know this? Because for the past 40 years, U.S. corporations and the private sector have squeezed as much productivity gains as they possibly could through layoffs, production quotas, and labor union intimidation. They can't weigh us down or empty our pockets any more than they already have. Charlotte, what's up next in the totalitarian playbook? Oh, yeah, seize public lands and rape her of all her resources: timber, oil, natural gas, minerals, you name it. Heck, Trump could even sell drilling rights to other countries. I'm sure Russia or China would love it. And when everyone waves bye-bye to our educational system, as imperfect as it is, the bastions of incivility like Tesla, Amazon, Dole Foods, or Purdue Chicken will have a captive, servile, dependent, uneducated workforce to do the wet work or stoop labor that's been abandoned by immigrants. You and yours can chant, "Jews will not replace us," while you're hunched over picking lettuce and cabbage, harvesting almonds and apples, or standing in place for 14 hours in a poultry slaughterhouse, wishing you had made better choices. Now back to the president and the oligarch show already in progress. I've created a pictorial to explain how this would work. Bear with me, it's not as tedious as it seems. The U.S. Treasury's gold is priced at $42 a troy ounce. That's a new word for me, too. I was hoping the troy measure had something to do with Helen of the same name. Nope. Troy comes from the Middle Ages and is named for Trois Francs, though in my opinion, it's not nearly as good an origin story. But back to our maths problem. Gold on the spot market is nearly $3,000 per troy ounce, up $16.99 today. What do you want to bet that someone who's just greedy and corrupt enough will come along and offer to buy all the gold as a favor to the American people? That $24 billion sale would solve all of America's problems. Cancer would be cured, hunger and homelessness a thing of the past. Everyone will be white, and dogs will stop chasing cats. Sounds good, right? But this someone, whoever buys it at $42 an ounce and turns around and sells it on the market for $3,000 an ounce, will make a fortune to the tune of $400 billion in profit without even breaking a sweat. Money for nothing and the chicks for free. Trump could do it. He has enough billions from his stake in Trump coin to buy at least half the gold reserves at Fort Knox. Dark investors have poured more than $2 billion into Trump's coin, which will personally benefit him to the tune of $10.5 billion. Pretty nice oligarchy you got there, wouldn't you say? And when Trump cashes out of the Trump coin casino, millions of MAGAs will lose their life savings. And again, I'm not concerned about that. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. The main concern is that at the end of the day, Donald and the run fast and break things guy will have their hands on the real gold and the real cash. They'll capture both sides of the transaction. Like, you complete me, man. Sweet deal for them, right? Now, if you could only get in on this deal, all you need is a few $1 billion. Oh, by the way, I've got my clock running, but she's running a little fast. Here's how it plays out in pictures. Photos below are first is of the Fort Knox installation in the 1930s. The second's a photo of gold bars stacked neatly inside the bunker at Fort Knox. And the third is from 1953, a press photo of 100 or so journalists who are crammed into the bunker with cameras and other equipment. Now, I know Donnie would love to be as grotesquely rich as Elon, but he's functionally illiterate and would need to keep the brain trust of this con to walk him through every step of it, every little baby step. And Trump's wistful thoughts are those of a little boy dreaming of a far-off land. Because maybe someone stole the gold, tons of it. Yeah, maybe someone's about to. The gold, my kingdom for the gold. Despite all number 47's shitstorms, you got to hand it to the treasonous golfing geezer. His gold conspiracy is right on brand. McDonald's golden arches, golden escalator, golden toilet, golden shower, the Trump Visa gold card. That's his help yourself to U.S. citizenship and leave $5 million on the nightstand plan. A king other than our own crown-bearing President Burger King also shared an obsession with gold. I know, Charlotte, I'm conflating two fast food stories into one. I still think it works, though. Let's keep it. King Midas was so crazed, he spent his days counting his coins and draping himself in gold, as if he were bathing in it. Talk about a fetish. The power to turn everything he touched to gold made dinner time, however, a bit of a disappointment. Do you ever wonder why the Greeks produced an abundance of gods who just really weren't that bright? I mean, these folks just never thought things through. I could definitely see Trump draping himself in gold. Oh, although now I wish I hadn't seen it. Only half our gold is stored at Fort Knox. As a child, I was told that the U.S. gold was safely tucked away from pirates and marauders in a Swiss bank vault. It turns out this urban fabrication, which came directly from my fifth grade social studies teacher and kickball monitor, Mr. Delphi, is incorrect. Bullion. So just spitballing here. We the people likely have about 800 billion in gold reserves if we were to sell it on the open market. That's no small matter. Yet, despite his wealth, I can hear Musk telling Americans, like the soup Nazi he is, shouting, "No stop for you." Sorry, kids, we just can't afford food this year. Bullion. I might use that as a swear word from now on. It has a nice cadence to it, don't you think? I had to look up the meaning of bouillon because I was imagining a nice clear gold broth. You know, something you would pair with pork dumplings or matzo balls. Bullion is the raw form of a precious metal before it's made into gold coins, gold toilets, or anything else. The gold in the Mnuchin problem. To the surprise of no one, no gold has left Fort Knox since it was built in 1937, except minute amounts for testing. The problem with Trump's missing gold conspiracy is that Steve Mnuchin, Trump's first-term Treasury Secretary, along with a delegation of Republican politicians, toured Fort Knox to inspect the gold more than 8 years ago. So let's assume that Mnuchin's visit to Fort Knox in 2017 was a fool's errand requested by Ronald McDonald McPresident. We can safely assume that Mnuchin's investigation turned up a whole lot of nothing. Otherwise, we'd have heard about it. Question. If Mnuchin had secreted out a few gold bars for his boss's unlawful souvenir collection, would it have even been noticed? Like, do they weigh all y'all when you enter and exit? I ask because the FBI found U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat of New Jersey, had gold bars sewn into his suit jackets. Apparently, they were bribes for his wife and him from the Egyptian government. Trump sells Oval Office memberships over the weekend. As Trump told Americans to shut up about eggs, he committed $3 million of fraud, waste, and abuse by playing golf. Trump was selling Oval Office memberships to his MAGAs as well. See the official badge above. The badge has Trump's name stamped over the American flag, which is only an issue if you're a stickler about the U.S. flag code. But I think we may be far beyond caring about that level of impropriety these days. What do you think? Oh, eggs, eggs, my kingdom for some eggs. I wanted to ask you if you like the Easter eggs that I hide in my letters. Fun fact, did you know the programmer Warren Robinette designed the first digital Easter egg for Atari's adventure game in 1979? Cool, huh? We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the latest Miss Maria Farm Report from the heartland of America to the streets of St. Petersburg. Doge job cuts up to 347,000. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 2,674 points. That's really bad. Eggs under DJT are up only 33 cents to $5.51 a dozen. A note here, I'm curious how the market price for eggs dropped from more than $8 on Friday to $5. I wonder if Trump told Doge to give egg prices the DEI treatment, because they're still about $9 a dozen here. Soybeans are also down 16%. A word about inspecting the McTroops. Speaking of eggs, it's getting so a Mrs. White Lady can't even get an Egg McMuffin anymore. One last fun fact. The mention of our American flag earlier got me wondering, has number 47 spent any time with our troops? I mean, if we're going to take over Canada and Greenland, he probably needs to make that happen. My inquiry, near as I can tell, is that the only grazing he's had with the military was his ceremonial inspection of the troops with the First Lady at the inauguration. Flotus is photographed wearing her signature Hamburglar outfit. The photo of both the Hamburger and the First Lady. Kudos to the Department of Wardrobe and Bad Taste. The USDOWBT, affectionately known as UDOUBT by White House insiders. I bet they're probably handlers for Musk's wardrobe too. Talk soon, M. Postscript. In case you're wondering, Charlotte is my imaginary editorial assistant. She is exacting. PSS. Oh, hey, Leslie, if you're going to make scrambled eggs with the popovers this weekend, try this method. Instead of a skillet, use a small to medium-sized copper saucepan. It will make the eggs very happy, even if they are scrambled. Simple. Combine 3 medium eggs and 3 pats of sweet butter in your unheated saucepan. Stir over medium-low. You'll want to keep your eggs company at the stove, trust me. Bring your saucepan off the heat occasionally while stirring, then move the saucepan back to the heat. It'll take about 5 minutes. Add chive or Gruyere. Voila! PSS, this is a Chef Gordon Ramsay technique. I know, but it's really good. You've been listening to A Smart Stack with Maria LaChapelle. This was episode 11 of Dear Mrs. White Lady.